and type of, I mean, I think we need to share it with the patient, needs to share it and talk about whether they have all these risks. Yeah, because in Britain, you could definitely drive on drugs, for instance. Well, obviously on epilepsy drugs, maybe not some other drugs. Yeah.
In Brazil, that's 1 year also.
Yeah. So in Russia, you can never drive, is that?
In Brazil, we cannot drive motorcycles forever, but the regular cars you can drive if you are 1 year free, seizure free.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes, yes. In some states like California, yes, you can.
So it's very interesting. I think perhaps we could, if that's okay, Pavel, we can move on to if there's any other questions from the because I think it's obviously you would probably need to work with the Russian branch to look at. I'm sure they are looking at trying to make things more similar in Russia to other countries. I would imagine people like Dr. Gecht and those sorts of people. But, yeah. So if it's okay, we perhaps see if anybody, because we've only got a few minutes left, and we seem to have completely lost our chair after he did so well. I hope he hasn't just fainted. Has anybody got any questions from the audience or between the speakers?
I don't know if people do, Mike, but if not, one of the things that I think Christian wanted to look at was, I think the deadline for some Congress in Geneva, I don't know if it's ILAE or what it is, but the deadline is the 22nd, I think, of September. And I think Christian was going to ask if people had ideas if the group wanted to put in a symposium or, do something for it. I don't know if we'd risk best papers again with the timeline, but I wonder would people have ideas? Are people interested to maybe put in for it? It's the Geneva conference in 22.
It's the European Epilepsy Congress that was postponed last year. So I suggest to present the same. We presented something in that Congress that was changes. They suggested to us to attend a center for people with that was close to the main venue of the Congress to have a lecture or something like that, and we didn't accept that. So I suggest if we don't have the time because we have very tight limit, to present the same proposal that we did for the last European Epilepsy Congress. So this is a possibility if we don't have time for doing anything else. Because we presented at the very beginning something that was not approved. So let's go back and try again.
It seems that sometimes, and that's only, and I don't know whether this is accurate, that if you put in two applications, you seem to have more chance because they'll take half the speakers from each application and turn it into one symposium. And because I think that has happened a few times, because when you put in a proposal, they quite often just change around the speakers or the topic. So it may be worth, putting more in on that basis that it's sort of, even though they're quite similar, or at least they're on a not dissimilar theme. So if some people have ideas of anything they could talk about, perhaps to tell Christian. But I know that the pediatric one with Petty, who is so good at, Betty's so good at doing these, we sometimes have put in 2 or 3 and they've turned it into 1, or they've turned it into 2 at different symposia. So it might be worth putting ideas in, because there's really no harm in putting in an application. I don't think you compete with yourself. But I mean, Vicenti's, on the basis of don't change a winning team, we had a winning proposal last time, didn't we? So it would be sensible to follow that through, and a lot easier.
I'm not really sure what proposal we sent in last year for the Geneva Symposium. I think if Christian still has the minutes of what we have discussed, then I agree with Vincente that we can send it in again.